Hello to the Talto Talk, the real job talk for students and graduates. So, welcome to the Talto Talk, the honest talk for students and young talents. Today we have Amer with us. He did his bachelor's and master's degree in Sarajevo in automatic control and electronics, and is currently studying his PhD as well as working for Siemens. Is there anything that you would like to add to this?
Oh, that's correct. Everything you said, yeah.
Very nice. So yeah, also welcome to you. So you work as a safety critical software developer at Siemens. To get to know you before we start right into this topic, I would like to ask you a few questions, or rather sentences, and you complete them for me, okay?
Yeah.
This is easy for me.
To speak.
Qualities of myself that my colleagues are grateful for.
Yeah, that's a tricky question. I would say having enough energy either to help them or to annoy them.
Can be good or bad depending on the situation. Huh? My best decision was.
Yeah, I would say there was a lot of good decisions in my life, but the one I really like is to marry my wife. That's something, yeah.
That's very, very beautiful what you just said. I would like to know more about.
Maybe I would need to know a little bit more about nature, about animals, about plants, about their small systems that they have, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So more about natural sciences.
Exactly, yeah.
Now, looking a little bit deeper in what you're doing, I already mentioned that you work as a safety critical engineer at Siemens. So that means that you're working with safety critical devices. Can you just outline in a few words or sentences what this is? Like, can you give us an example?
Yeah. As you said, like at Siemens, we are here in Graz, we are developing and maintaining these electronic equipments that are used in the safety critical operations. And what is the safety critical application? It means like there are possibilities that people or the equipment can be injured or damaged. So our devices are there to let's say to protect when the failure comes, to protect people or to protect the damaged equipment. For example, you can find our devices in power plants, especially nuclear power plants, because the risks are really high there, and they're using our devices to protect the people and the equipment.
So it could be, so is it like there is, let's say, a machine and it could heat up too much and it could catch fire, and then your devices help to alert the people around it, or what is it?
Yeah, I mean, one of the functionalities is to alarm the people, but the most important thing is to put the whole system into the safe state. So to have a safe state where this machine wouldn't be able to do further more damage to the people or to the equipment.
All right, so like stop the machine or
exactly. For example, like the easiest example might be the if you have a robotic arm and there is a problem, this robotic arm should go into the specific position so that it cannot make more damage. Yeah.
Okay, now I get it.
Yeah.
Thank you for this explanation for non-technicians. So you have been studying your PhD for 3 years now in Graz, whilst also working at Siemens. How was it to start your career right after you graduated your master's degree, and how is it to be working and doing your PhD at the same time?
Yeah, I would say it wasn't easy. When you are done with your the master degree, like you feel some kind of you feel confident and you learn something. But on the other hand, there's always a small piece of your let's say of your mind, of your brain, that's always asking you, like, was this enough? Have I learned enough? What is expecting me in the real world? Because while studying, everything was on the paper, more or less. Nothing was like in the real life. And when you are switching to the real life, to the real companies, especially in this safety field, there is a much more, let's say, risk and much more possibilities, to make a mistake or something like that.
So probably what you just said is true for any graduate, regardless of what they studied. But then
Exactly.
working in a field where you're, so to speak, responsible for human life or human damage or nature's damage,
Exactly.
it's
Exactly.
even more.
Yeah, I mean the tasks in the let's say in the reality are much more important than while studying. Like everything what we do in studying is let's say we do it in some kind of protected of safe zone. So when you are out of this protected safe zone, the roles are a little bit more higher. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Um, talking about the real life, the work life, so to speak, you told us about your project Predictive Fail-Safe. What was the biggest challenge for you in this project and how did you deal with it? And maybe also drop a few lines on the project.
Yeah. Let's say the predictive fail-safe. This is something, as I said, we are trying to protect the people, to protect the equipment that is there. And with this project, we were also thinking about including some advanced analytics so that we can predict something out of data that we have, and so that we can say in few steps that there's a problem, not only when problem is there, but that we can predict this problem. So this is something that we were working that we are still working in the Siemens. So when I came here, Siemens is a huge company, and there is a lot of things, a lot of devices, a lot of technology that needs to be learned. And I would say that was a little bit challenging at the beginning for me, like having all these, so to say, manuals and handbooks, and to read them. This is a little bit something that at one moment you get scared of it, like it's too much. Am I able to get this on? And that's something that was like, let's say, tricky for me. But like the good thing is that Siemens did a really nice this smooth adaptation of me there. So it wasn't like, here is the ton of books, ton of papers you should read. And no, it wasn't like that. There was like a really, let's say, the really nice system how to get the new people into Siemens.
So step-by-step onboarding and mentoring until
Exactly.
you were at the point where you are.
Exactly, yeah.
Nice. So just to sum it up a little bit, it was a lot. Just the amount of work or the amount of information you got was the real challenge, because you were new to the company and then new to the project, and there was a lot to learn and read.
Yeah, I mean, it's not about work. It's not about work. It's more about the portfolio that Siemens has. Like they have hundreds of devices, hundreds of different devices, hundreds of different technologies, and you need to get into it I mean, we need to know them so that we can use them. And this was a little bit challenging, yeah, to get to know all of them. Yeah.
Sure, absolutely. Now, there is plenty of companies out there that are looking for talents, as in graduates or working students. And you can often choose between a lot of different companies as a graduate, especially in the field of technology. What was your number one reason why you went for Siemens?
Yeah, like I mean, when you say Siemens, it's something big. It's the global company, and this is. I mean, it means that they should have at that moment. I was thinking that they should have the newest technology, the state of the art, a lot of expert, and I was right. Like as soon as I moved, as I started working for the Siemens, I could see that they are really top on the market, top company. The new technologies are there, and such opportunity just dragged me to the Siemens so that I can work with the top with the state of the art equipment, with the experts that are at Siemens. So this is something I'm still glad that I'm in that kind of community where I can grow myself. Yeah.
And how come that you went for Siemens Graz? I mean, Siemens has a lot of subsidiaries in all countries and locations.
Yeah, I mean, here Siemens Graz here, it's actually let's say perfectly fits the things that I did in Sarajevo during my master studies, and this is something why I applied here. And of course, like the one also important thing is that Graz is not so far away from my hometown, so this is something that I was also thinking about, and this was like, let's say, the perfect match for me. Yeah.
So you mentioned earlier that you have a wife, so you have a family in Graz. You're also studying your PhD, and then you're working. There's a lot of different things going on in your life. What do you do to reconcile everything and not forget about yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I would say that the most important thing is to be organized, and in some moment regarding the time, you should be optimized also. And this is something like where you need to organize your life, where you need to organize your priorities, and where you need to optimize your time. So I would say, I mean, in practical, for me, in practical sense, it means like less Netflix, less social networking. I mean, I know it's hard. We are living in 21st century, and those things are the part of our lives. And it's really hard to get rid of them, but we should, as I said, not get rid of them, but just try to optimize this time so that we can basically not to waste too much time on them. And after that, like I would say, we all have enough time for this. Yeah. And also one interesting thing regarding this uh, life work balance. I'm always trying not to bring work to home. So this is something really important. And if you can put this border between these two things, then definitely you will have also time for your private life.
Would you say that this prioritization and organization is something that you learn once you need it, or is it also a matter of character? What is it?
Yeah, for me, it's. I mean, when I was, of course, studying, I was never thinking about it. I think it comes with the time, where you see that like in some times of your life, you are missing more your private life, then you are missing your more work. Then after, I would say it's more experience. After some time, you really know how to deal with this problem. And then, I mean, I'm not sure is my way perfect way, but for me it works. So it's, yeah, I would say it's experience.
Mhm. Yeah, now you have plenty of experience, of course, but imagine you're 20 years old again. What is the one thing that you would have liked to have known back then?
Yeah, while I was studying, my biggest concern was, of course, like my future, and that was my biggest concern. And I was always thinking, let's say, like few years ahead, like what will I do, where I will be. And I would say I wasted a lot of time, and I was at some moments I was really worried regarding my future. What will I do? Where will I go? And I would say this was totally unnecessary. So I would say do not look too much ahead. Like look at in 1 2. I mean, have a long range plan, but do not focus on it too much. Focus on your current tasks. Focus on your current goals, and this is how it should go. Because you will have more time if you focus on your, let's say, short range future than to the long range future. Yeah.
Rather on the immediate next step rather than the fifth
Exactly.
step or something.
Exactly. I mean, there's no sense thinking too much if you already have enough problems around yourself.
Sure. So, is the one thing that it is never too late for, then maybe learning to not overthink things, or is there something that you would say it is never too late for?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, for me, it's never late to try something new. Let's say so. So I mean, it can be that you will learn something new, you will read something new, but this is something that's really interesting for me. Just like to get out of my safe zone, of my comfort zone. So this is something that I think all the people should try, just to see, let's say, to see the things from the other perspective.
Do you find some of that in your job as well?
But yeah, I mean, it doesn't need to be directly connected to the job or to some technical stuff. For example, like I was never cooking too much, and at one moment I just got some kind of fish. I mean, I'm not sure do I know how to do it, but like I made this step. Okay, I will try. I mean, of course, like the food wasn't the best at the beginning, yeah, but like after some time you get used to it and you get to know it, and this is something that now I enjoy. Like maybe every 2 3 times per week I cook something just for myself, like to be, I mean, for my wife and myself, of course.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, and it could be minor things like you said, like cooking. It could be major things, whatever it is, really.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, just I would say, just to step out, as I said, step out of your safe zone. Just try something different that you're not used, that is not part of your daily routine.
Yes. Yes. Now looking a little bit more into your job again, is there anything that you do differently in your job compared to others?
Yeah, it's quite hard question because I'm not sure what others are doing. Yeah, but like I don't know, I'm just looking here on my table to see if there's something. Yeah, here on my left side, I have a lot of notes. I mean, basically they're not notes; they are some kind of drawings that are actually helping me. Like when I'm thinking about something, when I'm thinking about some problem, I really like to draw, not to write, but just to draw some things, to draw some blocks, something that will give me, let's say, a little bit brighter picture of the problem. Yeah.
You told us that you found out what it means to be an engineer because of the subject practical of automation control at university. So, what does it mean for you to be an engineer?
For me, being an engineer, it's I would say that means that you have a certain mindset, like that you have a specific way of thinking. It means that you are able to create something with some tools or with some objects, and that you can, for example, what I'm doing right now is I'm having different electronic components, and I'm creating a one system that is working together, one electronic. But on the other side, like for example, if I use the vegetables, if I use meat, if I use spices, creating some nice dish, some nice food, it's also some sort of engineering, because you're making something from something. So it doesn't need to be technical engineering, but this is a way of thinking, I would say, more than the practical, than the theory stuff. Yeah.
So, probably more people are engineers, or a lot of people are engineers that wouldn't call themselves engineers.
Yeah.
Maybe they're not technical engineers in a classical sense of way, but in some kind of way at least.
I mean, we all at some point of our lives needs to use something to create something else. So this is I would say this is the simplest definition of engineering, using something to create something else. And in everyday life, I think every one of us is doing this.
Mm. Very, very nicely said. Is there anything that annoys you about being an engineer or about specifically being an engineer, a professional engineer?
Yeah, I mean, when you're working in industry, when you're working for companies and there are projects, and one thing regarding this is deadlines. So this is, I mean, they need to be there, of course, but this is something that I would say a little bit annoys me. Like when I see the deadline is coming, that's, yeah.
Kind of stressful always.
Yeah, I mean, my stress increases immediately with the deadlines coming. So this is, I mean, it's normal, but yeah.
Still annoying. Normal, but
Exactly.
still annoying. Yeah. All right. And one very last question. What does the perfect day look like for you?
Yeah, my working day.
Yes.
Okay, so um, if I wake up, I would like to wake up full of energy. Either if I don't have enough energy, I will then do shower myself, or having some nice breakfast. Then after that, I would definitely grab my bike and go to the Siemens to work there. Of course, I would really like that all lights are green in the traffic, because this is really annoying thing in the morning. And then going there, speaking with my colleagues, having these short chats with them while drinking some more morning coffee. Then after that, doing my tasks, and if it's possible to finish them. And of course, by the end of the day, everyone would like to hear some words of praise from your supervisors. This is something nice to finish your working day. Then just go home and spend some quality time with my family. This would be like one simple, perfect day for me.
A smooth day where everything went the way like
Exactly.
that.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I think when you mentioned the traffic lights, I think everyone or anyone living in Graz knows that it rarely happens that you catch the green wave, as we call it, where all the traffic lights are green. It's a miracle in
It's
Graz. All right. So I hope that you, as an engineer, like challenges, because I have one last thing for you, which is a word wrap. And I will always give you two words that are contrary or controversial, and you tell me which one applies more to you, right?
okay.
Executive versus specialist.
I would say specialist.
Large corporate versus hidden champion.
Yeah, right now I'm at Siemens, so I would say the large corporate. Yeah.
Constant change versus daily routine.
I would say I feel still somehow young, and I would like these constant changes whilst I still have energy. So daily routine is a little bit boring at this period of my life.
So you have to catch the momentum. Since we're
Exactly.
still in the drive, we have to make the best out of it. Have a plan versus go with the flow.
Yeah, I would say go with the flow is a little bit more challenging. It's a little bit more interesting because you never know what's coming from the corner. But having a plan is a little bit more professional and a better way to do it. So I would choose having a plan.
A short-term plan, though.
Yeah, exactly.
Lone warrior versus team player.
Yeah, I would prefer more team if team is a good team.
Sure. And is there one last piece of advice or tip or hint that you would like to give our talents, students and graduates out there?
Um, yeah, I will try to make a short summary from this. So I would say the most important thing is while choosing the field where you want to study and what you want to do is choose a field that's interesting for you, that you will really enjoy working in this field. Second thing might be that when you are studying, do not focus so much on the grades, because I lost a lot of my time focusing on the grades and like repeating the exams. And this is, I would say, this is not the goal of the education. The goal of education is to get the knowledge. So it's more important to get the knowledge than, I mean, grades shouldn't be bad, but also you don't need to have a perfect grades. And one last thing that I learned to this, to my past few years, is that you should never underestimate your colleagues. And on the other side, you should never compare yourself with the others. This is something that can really drag you from your main goal. And I would say, just like I said, concentrate on your goals and your task around you, and ask people to help you, but do not underestimate it or do not compare yourself with the others.
Very nice. Thank you for those three summarized points. It was a pleasure talking to you today, Amer. Thank you very much for being here with us and for giving us some insight into your everyday life.
Yeah, thank you also for invitation and giving me opportunity to be part of this Talto Talks.
All the best, Amer.
Yeah, thank you also.